see the old race car drivers, or how do you want to call them? You don't want to call them old, but we are getting up in age. It's just so cool what Darlington does for the race fans, us as ex-drivers and stuff like that. It's just unbelievable.
Ron, you were a wheel man. What was it like going around the Darlington Raceway?
The only way I can tell you is I'm the fastest guy here. Nobody can go any faster for one lap. And other than that, I suck here. I've never been a guy who can save tires, and I think it's the last race when I came here, we had a motor, the cylinder was down in it, and I was lifting early to keep it from blowing up. That was the fastest laps I ever ran around here with a 7-cylinder motor. So I learned a bunch right then, and I never got an opportunity to come back to show what I learned.
So as far as, NASCAR doing all of these festivities the last couple of years, how big has it seen them lean more into it after years of just not really doing so much?
Of what?
Of bringing all the drivers back, doing the 75 greatest class, and having more of these events?
It's unbelievable. It's cool. I mean, the stories. We were at the Hall of Fame, and my wife always tells this story. We usually said, hey, remember that race, or remember this race, or something like that. So we got 5 of us standing there. And we said, yeah, I was in the hospital for this. I was in the hospital for that. My back hurt, and I was in the hospital. So that's where it's coming down to when you get everybody together right now. We're not talking that way inside the alumni tent right now, but it's still fun to bring up some old memories and what we've done in our careers and how people just talk to Casey Mears, and he said I've never been stellar in my career. I've ran a lot of races. I won 1 or 2 here, but he said I didn't know what it'd be like coming back. When I walked out of that tunnel, the fans would have all my die casts and all the autograph cards and stuff like that. So it's amazing what the fans participate, helping us feel like we were part of something.
I know there's a lot of drivers currently that have been critical of throwback paint schemes, but I know there's been several drivers that have thrown back to you and your paint schemes. What does it mean to have those drivers, have those schemes, and how does it bring you closer to the sport?
It's just like yesterday. I mean, you remember that car. You remember what it did. You remember who won. You remember. It's just amazing to see it. It's so cool, and it's a plus that the other people let them run the paint schemes. I mean, it's a big process. You got to talk to the sponsors. You got to talk to the people who are involved in it. Everything's involved around that whole just the paint scheme. It's just not throwing a paint scheme on there. NASCAR's got to prove it. There's a lot of things that go on with it. So to take the time to do it, to celebrate Darlington, what is it, 75 years now, or maybe more than that, but it's just amazing what you got to go through and how good they look on the track.
Is there a particular paint scheme this weekend that's caught your eye?
Not yet. I haven't seen them all, so I've been really busy with the media and fans and doing autographs, and they keep you busy. What's so cool about it? I mean, poor Bobby, we lost Bobby Allison, and they'd have him out there 3-4 times a day out there signing autographs because everybody wants to see Bobby Allison, and that's what's so cool about it, and that gives you the drive to want to do it. People say when it's time to quit, and you don't know when it's time to quit. I just tried to run a Charlotte race, that 8-hour on a Roval, and I never got to run the Roval, so I wanted to do it. And I was out there practicing, thought, man, I was really good because I was good on road courses back in the day. And we had a 17-year-old kid and a 6-year-old kid gets in the car after me, and they're 2 seconds faster than I am. It's like, it's time to really hang up the helmet, and that's when it's time. These kids nowadays, the experience they got and what they've done, it's definitely changed the sport. I watch it every weekend.
So what's your take on everyone talking about how some young kids are coming up in the sport and after what happened at the Xfinity race at Martinsville?
I take it as we were at a car auction and my grandson was about 9 years old. And he said, hey, Pappy, come over here and race me in this simulator. And I said, no, I've had enough racing. I don't want to do it. He said, yeah, but you can't get hurt in this. You wreck it. All you got to do is push a button and get a new truck. So that's what I kind of picture that is these kids don't have to work on the equipment. Not all of them, but a lot of them don't have to work on them, and they're treating them like, push a button and get a new truck. So there's a lot of people behind the scenes that have to build these trucks, stuff like that. And I don't know if they're sponsors or their mom and dad or whoever's paying for it. They're going to have to sit down with them. And, we started Hornaday Develop, my daughter did. We're taking kids anywhere from, 9 years old all the way up. I've had Landon Lewis since he was 11, and just teaching them things of, keep your fire suit put up. When you go to eat, put your napkin on there, close your mouth when you eat, because you don't know where your next sponsor, your next owner, or whoever's going to be. So that's the things we try to teach them. And then you teach them craft. You got to come down here and live with us for a month. You got to learn how to work on the cars. You got to get your fingers dirty. You got to know what you're driving. You got to know how to work on them. And some of these kids don't know how to do that. So I hate to sound negative, but some of them don't belong in there and some of them do. So they're there, and my little driver, Landon Lewis, ain't got the money to do it, so he's still sitting. We got hooked up with Kevin Harvick running the Cars Tour this year, and he's run some ARCA races, he's run some truck races, and he's good enough to win races. It's just a matter of the right equipment. I mean, it definitely has changed a lot. I never got to drive the new car. The sound is so unbelievable. The fans don't know what they're watching other than the loud noise, fuel, and tires like they always do. If there were 6 cylinders out there, they'd still be watching racing because it puts on a good show. NASCAR always seems to accelerate. I thought it was stupid when they were changing. I thought they were stupid when they were taking trucks to Daytona. But look at it, it's one of the premier races when you watch it now because of the action they got. So I'll never doubt NASCAR ever again. It's just whatever they do, they're successful at it. And the cars are unbelievable. I mean, they look cool, they sound cool. I don't know how hard they are to work on because I hear everybody complain about them, but I've never got to work on the new one.
How special is this kind of weekend? Alumni, a lot of former drivers coming here and just get together with everyone.
Well, the only thing, if you can take that video camera and walk through there and see all the people, how they're smiling, the stories they're talking about inside there, that's the coolest part. The best part is standing out there with qualifying's going last night, and there's fans out there in the fan zone, and Skinner and I out there talking and doing question and answer, and seeing how people really follow your career through the years. It's pretty cool. I mean, that's what's so plus about what NASCAR is doing with this alumni come back.
Ron, to jump back to what you were saying earlier, do you think it would be helpful if team owners took some of these guys that wreck on the weekends and bring them into the shop to work on that? Would that be helpful today?
I don't know. I mean, I had to do it. I mean, I was the first one there when I wrecked the truck for Dale, and I've always worked on race cars though ever since I was a kid because my dad had one. So I don't know the answer. NASCAR's asked me, and I said the problem we have nowadays with the kids and the stuff, how do we get more kids involved in the sport? Well, when I was younger and my carburetor was messed up or my brakes were squealing, my dad gave me a floor jack and the impact and said, change your brakes, here's a brake pad. I don't know if they know how to do that anymore. I got my granddaughters to change their own oil. I got them to know how to change their tires, and that's all they need to know. Computer-wise, when I had my auto repair store, when I had to start bringing a computer into knowing these cars, it was time to quit. I don't understand it.